Not gonna lie, we record these cold opens at the end of the episode record, so I'm still sweating from today's Can I Be Honest? Let's get this podcast started so you can figure out what the heck I said. Welcome back to Not Gonna Lie, a Wave original brought to you by Liquid Death. Liquid Death is nothing scary. It sounds like it, but it's not. It's just the best water and iced teas. It's just so crisp in a can, you know? I'm your host, Kylie Kelsey, local bagel connoisseur. My home has 2 podcast studios, and I could technically go into labor any second now. I wish. God, get out. Coming up on today's episode, since I'm about to give birth for my 4th time in my life, I'm going to get brutally honest about birth plans. And no surprise here, mine is pretty short. And after that, you're going to hear a conversation I had no business having with the one and only Kelly Clarkson. I got a chance to sit down with Kelly while we were in New York, and she was absolutely delightful. You're going to hear us talk about Kelly's American Idol days, what it's like to be one of the greatest vocalists ever, and some good old-fashioned Eagles-Cowboys shit talking. Because you know I had to. It's all coming up. But before we get to that, last week we put out an official poll to finally determine the name of the NGL fan base, and I am conflicted. Your finalists were the Kai League, the Real Ones, and the FAFOs. Kai League, with 71% of the vote, won. The FAFOs had 10%, and the Real Ones, 19%. I'm so sorry to Queen Emma that the Real Ones didn't win, but I think we're going to have to come up with a compromise. The Kai League won, so I will respect that. We're going to put it on some shirts. Maybe a mug, who knows? But I'm not going to lie. I also kind of want to veto it. I'm not gonna. Here's the thing. Either way, I'm going to keep calling you guys the Real Ones, and you can call yourselves the Kai League. I feel like that feels better because you know I don't like when it seems like it's about me. I had to shut down the name The Kylie Kelsey Show so many times in meetings about this show. Like, so many times. How can I say my name in the fan base name? All right, Real Ones. Now that that's settled. See, look at how nice that is. It sounds good. Let's move on to our next segment, Can I Be Honest? Like I said at the top of this episode, I'm about to give birth. It is imminent. And if I suddenly get up during this segment, there's a reasonable chance my water broke. Please do it. Do it. Nothing. But fingers crossed, she's chill for the next few minutes because there's one more pregnancy topic I need to get honest about. Birth plans. Before I get into this, as always, I just want to say, do whatever works for you. These are my personal preferences. I'm not you, and you're not me, and we do not have to be living with each other's decisions. So remember that. Now, for all the real ones out there who haven't had a baby, don't plan to, or are just unfamiliar with the phenomenon that is birth plans, this is what they are. A birth plan is basically all of the things that you plan to do during labor. Some examples might be doing a home birth, being in a kiddie pool in your own living room, being unmedicated, being medicated, making it to a hospital, maybe have music playing, maybe you've done some birth classes with your significant other and they are prepared to rub your back, or you plan to get in the shower, or you want to try birthing from a tub. There are so many options. Now, I'll tell you exactly what my birth plan is. That's right. It's mine. You don't need to have an opinion on it. You don't need to be worried about it because I'm going to tell you this birth plan has been approved by me, myself, and I, and my team of OBs, okay? I just want a fat needle in my back. That's it. I want a fat needle in my back that keeps the line in so that when I need a little bumpity bump to get that window gone, if you know, you know, that we can make that happen. It's such a short list because you cannot make a plan and assume that that little muffin is going to stick to it. And I'm just not prepared for disappointment on a day that a human is exiting my body. Okay? I have never made a soundtrack. I don't listen to music. I watch shows while we're waiting for the baby to descend. I do what is advised by the medical staff in the hospital, because I truly believe that labor and delivery nurses are angels that have descended from heaven and landed on earth. And I trust and love my OBs. I don't know how many times I can say that. I'll say it again. I love them like so much. So if you would like to do an unmedicated birth, that's totally up to you. But I like the idea of having an epidural. People who dismiss birth with an epidural as being not a true birth experience, I can promise you from the bottom of my heart, I felt every part of labor. Thank you. I knew what was happening. I could feel everything. Was it painful? No, but that's the point of the fat needle in my back. And just while we're here, I have not had a shift in my birth plan that has caused a C-section, but I've seen just a number of triggering comments over the weekend on certain TikToks where people have been told by relatives or other people in their life that because they had an emergency C-section or a C-section that was scheduled, that they did not experience birth. I'm trying to be nice. No, never mind. Go fuck yourself. You can kindly fuck right off. The person you're speaking to just grew a human being, and for whatever reason, that little baby needed to come out the front, not the bottom. You know whose business that is? Not fucking yours. They just had massive abdominal surgery to get out the human life that they just built. I can't believe that people say that. That is horrific. I dare you to say that with an earshot of me. That's aggressive. I said what I said. I'm standing by it. Say it with an earshot of me. I dare you. I double dog dare you. You think that when I was 12 pounds, 1 ounce and I had to come out the front on my 5'2" mother, that she didn't experience birth? I will kick your ass in honor of Lil Lise, okay? I want to be abundantly. I will bust open a can of liquid death and whoop ass, okay? I cannot believe that you have the audacity. And this is on being 38 weeks pregnant, preparing for birth, not knowing what's going to happen, and getting triggered by TikTok comments. I'm sweating again, and my face is hot. Moral of the story, okay? These people have built a human being in their uterus with the power of their own body, okay? With, let's be real, a very short contribution by someone else, okay? Come on now. Mind your fucking business. If you don't have anything nice to say, do what your mother told you. Keep it to your fucking self. I feel like we appropriately did this. I hope everyone gets their birth plan however they would like it, including me. Let's get an epidural. And that's it for Can I Be Honest? Let us know what is or isn't in your birth plan at NGL with Kylie. And now the main event. I still can't believe I got to talk to Kelly Clarkson and that she actually revealed... Hang on. Oh, that is cool, crisp, and refreshing. That Liquid Death mountain water. Queen Emma, hit him with the Liquid Death ad. I desperately needed that. Liquid Death always coming in clutch, especially right now. Cold, crisp water while you're pregnant. That hits the spot. And so that's why I've been able to stay hydrated through my entire pregnancy with a little help from Liquid Death, which is always stocked in my fridge. I love buying Liquid Death mountain water for my house because once I put it in the fridge, I know that I am going to get that satisfying snap. And then I'm going to have to finish it before my children figure out that I have opened water. If anyone has kids roaming around their house, you know that your water is their water, no matter how much you try to stop that. I also love that it's in a can and then you just recycle them. It's delightful because we do love the world. And the real ones, they know from the past few episodes, Liquid Death has more than just mountain water. They've also got soda-flavored sparkling water and low-calorie iced teas. Liquid Death is available nationwide, literally anywhere you shop for water or iced tea. And for all Not Gonna Lie listeners, they're giving $2 off any 2 6-packs. Bargain shopping. Just go to liquiddeath.com/Kylie for details. She's the Grammy Award winning vocal powerhouse behind such hits as Since You've Been Gone, banger. Miss Independent, banger. Because of You, banger. And the list goes on and on. She's also an Emmy Award-winning talk show host, the original American Idol, and a fellow mom. Kelly Clarkson, welcome to Not Gonna Lie. That is so crazy to say out loud.
I love that. I love that.
I want to be totally clear. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
You are one of the only Cowboys fans that I would consider having on the podcast.
Do you know what's so funny? Is she actually made me, Trisha, my manager, like makes amazing things, and she actually made me a Cowboys vest that's not quite done yet, but if it would have not had the clip still on it and it was sewn,
you were gonna come.
I was gonna come in it just for funsies.
It's just for
funsies.
To stir the pot a little.
Yeah, just to walk in and let you know off the bat.
Now, how long have you been a Cowboys fan?
Here's the thing. When you're Texan, and I'm from the Dallas area.
Yes.
There's no choice right off the bat, first of all. Like you are.
Similar to Philadelphia.
That is what it is.
Yes.
Like as you come out of the womb. So it's always been in my household, but I didn't actually get really hardcore into the NFL until fantasy football, which this is my team. And that got me into the NFL, which I actually think is very smart. Mm-hmm. Because it gets you into other teams.
Yes.
Because I will say, I had more Eagles on my team than Cowboys.
And that's why you did so well.
I did, however, though, I got to tell you, I met Fallon and my show are right across the hall from each other.
Yes.
And I ended up running into, and I told you a minute ago, I met Barkley, but I forgot, I also met Hurts. And I walked up and I happened to be wearing a cowboy sweatshirt that day. I had no idea.
Well,
I had no idea they were going to be there.
Sure.
And I didn't. Sure. And I walked out and they were like, oh, sure you. And I go, no, I voted for you. As if he was on American Idol. I literally told Jalen Hurts I voted for him.
I was voting for you.
I called all night, Jalen. And I don't know why. And then I looked at him and I said, what? No, I didn't. I what? I was like, no, I was rooting for you. I was, though.
Were you?
If the Cowboys would have been there, I would not have.
Sure.
Yeah. Or the Bills.
Did you are those the only 2 Eagles that you've met?
I met a bunch of them. Yeah.
Did you meet the O linemen that were there too?
Yes. And I didn't know that I'm going to say his name wrong. Starts with an M.
Mailata.
I had no idea. And I'm so sad because right after I met him, he is so huge. They are so big.
He's the size of a fridge.
Bigger than
I mean
you
that
think.
respectfully, Jordan.
No, he's enormous.
Yes.
And they made Hurts and Barkley look like babies.
Oh yeah.
And anyway, I didn't know he sang so well. I had no idea.
The voice of an angel.
Make my wish come true.
I went down the rabbit hole afterwards because everybody was like, did you know he sings? And I was like, what? And I went down the rabbit hole, and I wish I'd known that when I met him.
It's so impressive.
It is. I heard him sing the anthem better than most singers.
He's incredible. Yeah. And he does it in such like a nonchalant way.
Yeah.
You're like
an effortless R&B pop vocal. I'm
come
like,
on.
All right. Yeah.
He and my husband and Lane Johnson, who I believe was also there. Yeah. They have done a charity Christmas album for the last 3 years. And
that I missed.
Well, every time that Jordan, you should check it out, because every time Jordan sings a song on this Christmas album, I'm like, why is he playing football?
Okay.
Like, he's great at football, but like,
if they ever need a duet partner, I'm willing to cross the line. I was like, just for the Christmas. I love Christmas as well.
They've raised millions of dollars and put it directly back into Philadelphia.
That's amazing.
It's very cool. You should check it out.
Really cool. You can do the
Jordan
spotlight. Incredible. I know. I was so sad. I found out literally minutes after I met him.
It's one of those things where you're like, okay, we get it. You're like an outstanding tackle in the NFL, but like,
and also could have had a career as a singer.
Yeah, like, just why do you have to be good at everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice, save some for the rest of us. It's fine.
He's funny too. He gave me so much shit for my Cowboys sweatshirt.
Did he?
Yeah, a lot.
I will tell you that I bond with Giants fans. For some reason, when specifically, it's often Giants fans meet my husband, they have like truth serum, and they immediately say, I have to be honest, I'm a Giants fan. And I'm like, well, everyone has their flaws, but we can agree.
Yeah.
Fuck the Cowboys.
Yeah. Everybody. Yeah. But you know what? Why's our name in your mouth?
But that's just it. I truly believe the Cowboys are like universally the most hated team in the NFL.
But you're universally most talked about.
And that's on marketing.
Yeah. So we can market like who talks about our cheerleaders? Everyone.
Well, they are outstanding. Yes. I can admit that.
Yeah. I was like, it is funny. Like, our team is probably one of the most hated, but also because I think too, we're always so hopeful. I don't think there's been more dreamers. Like, because it's been since the 90s. Every year is our year. I just read something with my sister. Yeah, I just read this with my sister. And it said something, I guess Jerry Jones had said about, well, this is it's the time. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's different from the last now's the time. Like,
very different from last year's time.
Which was also now the time. I know. It is amazing though. Because, you see players switch it up. And that's like even Barkley going from Giants to the Eagles. And I loved him on the Giants. He was on my team, my fantasy team. But like, when players are switched up, it is interesting to see how they fly and soar in different scenarios. Oh, yeah. I'm talking a lot about football. I'm sorry.
It's so impressive.
I'm very sorry.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm done. We don't have to continue. You're like, so my husband played. I don't play football, but I don't know why. We can talk about something else.
More in. Let's lean into music.
Okay.
You broke the news on your talk show earlier this year that you decided to start your own music label.
Yes, but let's clear the air.
Okay.
Because
please.
I didn't know how big that was going to blow up, that news. You just never know.
Sure.
And we've been blown up from like artists and like people wanting to work at this label and and I'm like, it is a label, yes, but it's only to put my music out. Like, it's not like I'm like starting like a full on, because people were like, hey, artists are wanting to be signed and like people wanting to work at it. And I was like, oh, no, I just had to create something because I'm like releasing my stuff.
Right.
Like, and it was like, you have to like release it through some kind of vessel. So it's High Road Records. That's my ranch. High Road Ranch is my ranch in Montana. So I was like, oh, I'll just call it High Road Records. And it kind of blew up. So I'm not taking artists.
This is great. And
I'm really lucky to clear the air right now, because it's not that I don't want to. I know a lot of amazing artists. It's just that is like, my cup runneth over. I'm a single mom with 2 kids and like a lot going on. Like, yes. So I don't want to do that thing, but I did. It is cool at 42 to be able now to like completely run the ship, like, right. Which, I mean, I've worked with some great people at labels, but and some not so great, but it's kind of cool though to have my own label for my own stuff and
right,
like
to have complete
just
autonomy.
Do it. Like, we just shot a video in my little town that I live in, in Montana, which is where I wrote the song. And like we shot it in this really cool opera house. And it was like, it's just a really cool thing. And it was just me and my band and all these people I've known for decades, you know? So it's cool us just being able to play like 10-year-olds that really love to like dream and nobody like slapping your hand. You can't do that. You can't do that. Like, you know,
you really get to do it your own way.
Yeah. Which I feel like I've been able to like kind of do that, but with some compromise here and there. But like this time it was just like, nah, I just want to do it. Like, because fortunately, I have enough to, like, go play Vegas, enough hits to do that kind of thing. So it's like, I'm just going to, like, write whatever comes out and, like, do whatever comes out. And it's kind of fun.
Let's throw it back to your American Idol days.
Okay.
The viral tweet that can explain the experience perfectly is, it's wild to me that American Idol found America's best vocalist on their first try. That is a tweet that I...
Thank you, Mom. Because my mom.
I mean, is that not like, how do you feel that is like a compliment that I don't think is uncommon for you? That like American Idol just absolutely nailed it on the first try.
Well, I think for me it's different. So for all of us in that first season, we literally I didn't even know it was a TV show until my third audition. Like we were literally trying to pay our bills, y'all. We're like, oh, this might work. I might meet someone or whatever. Nobody knew it was going to amount to anything. You know, there were already other shows like Pop Stars, like all those other shows out or whatever. So nobody knew. And even the second, they all knew. They knew what could happen because Miss Independent had hit like my single, like they knew like what could happen.
They'd seen the proof was in the pudding.
So it was a different story. So people were like, so I think for me, we were literally like kids, like, you know, 19 years old, just like trying to pay my electric bill, y'all. So like I, you know, and afford the deductible on my car that was bashed in that I couldn't afford. Like, you know, so it was a different thing. So I don't look at it like how everybody perceives it. Like it's almost like weird that I'm in like it. I don't know how to describe it.
It's funny that you say that because I have vivid memories of watching that season.
Yeah.
But I remember watching the auditions of other seasons.
Because nobody really watched until it was
That's
like maybe
so
the top
interesting.
5 people started watching, I think. Yeah. So it was maybe easier to win because there weren't that many people. Maybe that's why I got in there. I don't know.
I think that, and I do think that I'm sure that the production noticed that the auditions at the beginning, they could lean heavily into because of how drastic the talent.
Bold.
Yeah.
People would be bold without the talent. Like it was real funny. Like one of the people that went in, like, because like I said, we have no idea what we're doing. Yes. But the girl that came before me in my audition, that song, the remake, It's You Get You Ya Ya Da Da, that song, the Patti LaBelle song. I was like, I can't think of the name right now. But anyway, but Lady Marmalade. I was like, nope, not gonna be able to leave it. Gonna have to find it. There it is. But anyway, the girl sang an operatic version of that song, like right before me. And I was like, look, I don't know what this is, but I think I'm going to do all right. I think I might make it if this is what it is. Because there were also amazing people too, but it was just like, it ran the gamut. Like since season 1, it was like, no lady, this is bad parenting. The mother of the person who went before me, she came out and I was like, oh man, because I have a very different mom from this mom. And my mom is, do not ask her unless you want the truth. Because that's what's going to seep from her lips. Yeah. And regardless of what it is. And this mother was polar opposite. She was like, they just don't get it, baby. They just don't. And I was like, we all heard it.
I think they get it. I think they heard.
They got it. And they told her and they said, hey, like maybe try and do something new. They were constructive too. We could hear them. It wasn't like they were mean.
Right.
They were like, hey, this maybe isn't your thing. And like, cause she wasn't even on key the whole time. Like, it's not a subjective thing. You hit the notes or you don't. Like, it's not a choose your own adventure. Like, and you know what I'm saying? It's like you have to, like, and it was, and she came out and it made sense, like why she's so bold, because her mom was like, you do no wrong. And I was like, that's not going to serve her in life.
I do think there is a self-awareness of like, you can hear a musical artist, I wouldn't like as talented as you, but like I feel like Ariana Grande has called you the best singer in the world.
What? No, she didn't.
It's a quote.
Oh, Well, that's her being really nice because we're friends. She's just saying something nice.
That's very humble of you.
That is very nice of her, coming from her.
But even in, like, when you start your show and you do karaoke, it's very obvious when you do these covers that, like, as other artists, I would be like, oh, she's about to do it better than me.
Oh, see, I don't agree. I know people always say, the thing I want to point out too, though, is in the beginning, if you watch me on Idol, like, that's the thing that I feel like sucks for the music industry. I was going to say this a minute ago, is that there's no room for learning, or there's no room for molding anymore, of like letting an artist like go out and tour some songs and then make that album, or there's no A&R anymore. There's no, and I feel like I'm from an archaic time of like, if I sang those songs right now that I sang on Idol 20 something years ago, they would sound better now. Like, it's just like, I was all right, but it's just like, you're a better singer because you have time and experience, and I've been given the time for that.
Right.
They don't have that anymore for artists. And like, that's what, so I'm just saying, like, I sound different than I sounded then. Like, everybody's like, oh, you're Kelly. I'm like, yeah, but I did the same thing on Idol. I just think it's a lot of work. Like, it's a lot of time of touring and putting it.
Then too.
What?
You were outstanding then too.
I don't agree.
I think everyone is.
And I was like, how did I win? And as you know, it makes me sweat thinking about it.
I don't necessarily think that anyone else had a question of why you won. Now, I do have to ask, as someone who is not a singer by any means.
Not at all?
No.
No?
Not even, no.
Not a Christmas Carol? Not a nothing?
Nope.
You haven't graced an album? One of those albums you're talking about, the Christmas ones?
Did you fucking do that?
No.
Did you do that?
Did she? I just guessed it.
What
is it called? Which song?
It's an original.
Okay.
Written by someone who had been involved in the album we cannot include this in the episode.
We are totally including this in the episode.
Okay, so
I'm gonna Google it.
No,
now.
don't do that.
I'm gonna buy it.
Oh my God, I'm gonna start shaking.
Because it's helping people too. Yeah.
No, I'm sweating. I am not a singer by any means.
Okay.
Just to
I'm not
scratch
an
the itch. Just to scratch the itch for you. It was an original song written by someone who had been included in the album for years, and they wrote it intended to be sung by a married couple who have kids, and it's about like the idea of like growing up and your kids leave the house, but like the holidays are like still the two of you.
Oh.
And it was very, very sweet. And I only did it because I love and support my husband, and I knew it was going to charity. And needless to say, I have since pretended like it never happened.
Oh, that's from Justin to Kelly for me.
I'm gonna perfect.
Didn't want to do it either. Legally obligated.
I cried on my way there.
I cried to get out of it. So I understand. Yeah. Mine didn't go to charity. It just went to someone's pocket.
It was no, but what I will say, this is where we'll get back into what is usable content.
No, we're totally going to use it.
God, no.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be able to like feel the satisfaction of belting a note and hitting it?
Oh, so here's the thing. When it hits, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're an athlete, when you're on fire,
yes.
when you feel like that was my game. Mm-hmm. There's no better feeling other than love from your children. Okay. But I just mean.
Yeah, but like that note.
but I'm just saying, like when you do something that you're like, cause look, here's the thing. Most days you're probably like 80-85%, especially if you're like a mom, or everything comes into play with your voice, right? Like you're tired. It's the first thing to go. When you're touring, you're constantly on the go, fighting, being sick. Everybody's spreading something on tour. Like you're rarely 100%, right? So you're already not that, right? Which I imagine athletes, same thing. Like it's like you just everything is affected, right? Your body is affected by illness or being tired. So rarely does this happen, but when it does happen, it's that moment where you feel like you're fucking Thor.
Right?
You're like, that was my hammer. And I feel like I crushed it. And that doesn't happen all the time. So when it does, you got to celebrate. I turn back and I look at Jessie, who I sing with, and I was like, and she'll be like, oh. Like there was one time on this last Vegas run that we did, it did like 10 shows. And it was only one show out of all of them. And it was just this one song. And I think it was A Whole Lot of Woman. I don't remember what song it was, but I did some kind of run that I can't do. Like for $1 billion, if you ask me to do it right now, I just can't do it.
And you're like,
but
no.
For whatever reason, the run that came out of this body was not mine, but I'll own it, but I will claim it and steal it. But it came out, and I was like, "What the?" And it was like insane. And it was just this one thing.
Like, whoop, there it is.
I was on cloud 9 for the rest of the show. I was like, I could script this whole show, but did y'all remember that run? It's like, but it is a very cool thing to just like,
for some reason,
it doesn't happen all the time.
Well, my brain says that must be one of the most satisfying feelings.
That's why it's satisfying, because most of the time I'm walking off that stage not bummed, but I would say 85% of the time I'm like, damn, I messed up here,
right.
like, you know.
We're always going to be the most critical of ourselves. I know you're probably thinking, why is Kylie in the same room as Kelly Clarkson? And also, are those a bunch of beer cans on the table next to them? First of all, I'm with you. I have no fucking business talking to Kelly Clarkson. And second, no, those are not beer cans. But I do love that they look like that. They're actually cans of Liquid Death mountain water and iced tea. And they were delicious. And if it wasn't already abundantly clear, I'll say it again. I'm a big fan of Liquid Death, specifically their mountain water. But I also just love that they love cans because I love the cans. Their commercials are funny. They let me say curse words. They're also supporting the Eagles Autism Foundation this year. People after my own heart. Their aluminum cans are also infinitely recyclable, which is way better than plastic bottles. Liquid Death donates a portion of proceeds from every can sold to help kill plastic pollution. What? How do they get any better? Liquid Death is available nationwide, literally anywhere you shop for water or iced tea. And for all Not Gonna Lie listeners, they're giving $2 off any 2 6-packs. Just go to liquiddeath.com/Kylie for details. The fans also know and love you from your time as a coach on The Voice.
I love The Voice. Yeah.
Queen Emma is going to try and make a joke right now.
Okay.
That I'm also a coach.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I coach high school field hockey. Very different coaching situation.
Yeah.
Different level of pressure.
Yeah.
How was it to
Do you
be a
really
coach
high school?
Yes, I do.
I didn't know that. Yes. You have how many kids? You coach it and you do this?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Jury's still out.
Oh my God, you must.
Yeah,
I mean, I run on fumes as well, but like, wow, that's a lot.
This is the chaos.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm similar. I like that too. I operate well into that and pressure. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's like, wow, a lot of girls too. That's a lot of estrogen.
A lot of estrogen.
Woo!
Yes.
Okay. And coaches, because I had coaches, like I had bad ones and I had great ones. The great ones, I mean, they're also therapists.
Well, I've had some coaches in my life that I have encouraged me to then become a coach because I know the way that they impact my life.
Yeah.
The Voice, similarly, you had the opportunity to coach.
Basically who I was whenever I started, yeah.
Right. And so how do you feel that experience was for you?
So great. I love it. I wouldn't have stopped doing the show had I not moved across the country and been a single mom of 2. But it was the most like... I think the person who understood me the most about it was Jennifer Hudson. We both did a season together, and it was like, sometimes you know, not most of the time. Most of the time, all the coaches are like incredible, but sometimes it's like, you're like, oh, okay, like you're treating them less than, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, this was me and Jennifer. Like, you know, this is how we got our start. And every artist gets their start in a different way. So I think for us, people like us that have been there in that audition process and just being so judged instantaneously, like on maybe not your best performance, but like, you know, you could do better, but like, it's a grueling thing and it's unforgiving in a lot of ways and a lot of pressure out of the bat for these artists that I don't think a lot of artists that sell tons of records would be able to handle. Like it's a different thing. And so I think for me, and speaking for Jennifer, it's just a really cool thing to be able to look them in the face and go, look, you know, for her too, because she was like, I didn't win and I've won an Oscar. You know, she's like, you can make a career out of this. Like I think it's really cool for us to be able to have artists on our team and go, this is hard. Like, it's not, even after you like, after I won Idol, people were like, oh, she's a millionaire. No, I wasn't. Like, they say $1 million contract. No, I didn't. They said I'd get a car. No, I didn't. Like, I didn't get any of that. We were playing like festivals in the middle of cow shit, plugging in all our gear.
Sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's still a hustle. Like, every bit of it. At 42, it's still a hustle. So it's, you know, but to be able to look at them and say, this isn't just like a thing that you're going to be on here and it's it. It could be, but it could not be, you know, at the same time. And you could get somewhere. We're like the light at the end of the tunnel because it's not lip service. We actually were you.
That's amazing to be able to take your experiences and directly apply that to mentoring those young artists that were on your team, and to be able, like you're saying, to then say to them, I was there. Yeah. I've received this quick criticism, this sort of jump to who I am and how I am as a singer. And just based on one performance.
Well, and who you are, because I start with this. I'm like, you're not making an album. This is not your most credible album ever. We're not doing Imagine John Lennon here. What we're doing here is navigating a competition, which is completely different.
Right.
So
strategy.
It's strategy. So it's like you're trying to like strategize with them, and you can't always win every artist over, because sometimes they weren't meant to be a part of that kind of environment, and they can't let it go.
Their creative
credibility or whatever can't let go. And it's like, well, you can have both. Let's find a song that marries both. But it's like, you know, you don't want to give everything away at first. You want to save some. You got to build up. It's like, it's a strategy. So it's. I think that's why, though, Jennifer and I particularly, just because we did it, like, it's a little helpful. And it's also like, I had no one. Like, I was the first winner, right? So like, it was hard, like, not to like sound like whatever, but it was really hard. People were really mean. People that were really mean have been coaches. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hated talent shows. Yes. And then they ended up being on The Voice. It's like, okay. But like people were really cruel at first. They didn't like it. It took the industry kind of by storm. Like, a talent show is, you know, like it was a very unlikable thing in the industry, funny, but not in the populace.
Where we've come.
Hilarious. Like, now there's so many.
I've also been excited to talk to you about motherhood. You have 2 kids, a boy and a girl. What are their ages?
8 and 10, and they're freaking awesome. They're gonna kill me, but they're awesome.
This is your moment to embarrass them. Feel free. Oh. We encourage that here.
They're so different. I was asking you about yours because all girls, but like they're all different. It doesn't matter, you know, sex or age. Like, it's just, they come out. I firmly believe they kind of come out how they're going to come out, and then some behavioral things.
I like to ask all my guests who are moms, what's the best piece of motherhood advice that you've ever received?
I don't know that I've ever received. I'm sure I have, but I just mean, nothing that like I live by or a mantra or anything. But my thing that I just tell moms is like, look, we're all trying our best. Well, no, we're not. We're not all trying our best, but most of us are trying our best. We're going to fuck up. Like, we're going to mess up, and we don't mean to, but like, I have this conversation with my kids too. I'm like, if I, lose my temper on something because I'm just like over it because I've had to tell you so many times, like, I look at them, I go, okay, mommy's human, and that was a human moment, and that is not where I should have gone, but like, I own it, and I think it's important to show that to them. But I just think this whole filtered perfection thing, that's not real, like, and so I think that being honest is the best.
There have been multiple times where I've put my girls to bed and I will have a moment of like, I'm sorry that I raised my voice today about this.
Yeah.
Next time, if we can listen the first time, then mom doesn't have to get her serious voice.
Yeah, and then I don't have to repeat it 8 times. Yeah.
And I always just like to take that moment to acknowledge, like, that I don't want to raise my voice.
Yeah.
But when we get it, like, we got there for a reason.
Yeah.
And I do think it's like explaining it as like a human moment is perfect, because I mean, how many times have they yelled at us?
Right? Like, and I feel like abused often. I am like this is an abusive environment.
There are days where Jason will come home or I'll call my mom. She'll be like, how's your day going? And I'm like, I'm being bullied by a 3-year-old.
Not great.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
But it's happening today.
Yeah.
And then other times, like, you have a great day and you put them to bed and everyone goes to bed on time.
Yeah.
And you're like,
this is beautiful.
Can we do that tomorrow?
Yeah.
No.
No.
But it was great today.
Mm-hmm. That's when you celebrate the win.
That's it.
That's the moment when the one show that you do something incredible vocally. It's it doesn't happen often, but when it happens, it's to be celebrated.
Yes. They're amazing, aren't they?
They're truth tellers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, you don't even, you're like, and then the thing too, I don't know if you get this because you're a working parent, but it's like, why do schools have things in the middle of the fucking day? Like, oh, your daughter has a performance. Cool. I get to be the asshole that misses it.
Yes.
Because you decided that it would be a real opportune moment at 10 a.m.
on a Thursday.
On a Thursday, when we're out here hustling, trying to, like, I feed a lot of mouths. You know what I'm saying? So I got, and I'm like, and then she's like, why weren't you there? This person's mommy was there. And I was like, congratulations to her. Because she made different decisions that led to her being able to be there at Thursday at 10 a.m. That is cruel. Like, that is cruel because we look like assholes. And like, yeah.
Yep.
And she'll use that a lot too. Yeah, she'll just be like, well, her mom was there. And I was like, wow, she got a better mom. You got me.
You got what you got.
You get what you get. I was like,
is our oldest just hit me with yesterday when I said I was leaving to come to New York. Our oldest hit me with, is it you're leaving because you don't love me? Oh. And I was like, great, cool. You know that beach house we get to have?
Yeah. Do you enjoy it?
Isn't that fun?
Yeah. Do you enjoy VIP at Disney World?
Well, that's just it. The best part is that I said to her, do you know when we talk about when dad, like during football season, dad travels once a week. I said, when dad leaves and we talk about like, does dad want to leave? And she's like, no. Yeah. And I'm like, so do you think mom wants to leave for work? And she's like, well, I just think you could say no. And I was like, cool, great.
Isn't it funny though how different it is? Because like even from a young age, like we didn't teach them, just innately you're like,
that's what they've absorbed.
He's allowed to be somewhere, but you're not. Like that is like real interesting. Yeah, there's a lot that that I keep in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got it.
Because co-parenting is fun. But like, it's a bit, but it's, it's like, he couldn't come because this. And I'm like, okay, cool. What
do you think I was doing?
Do you think I just leave?
This was me.
And just sit in the park all day? Just like, okay. Yeah. It is, it's funny. It's taught though. I mean, not taught, like it's just in there.
Oh, it's
I
just
didn't
what
teach that.
No. Yeah. I didn't.
We definitely didn't.
No. I'm going to actually make it a point to make sure our daughters don't think that. Yeah.
And my son, by the way. I'm always like, mommy does work and that's okay. Yes. Women and men work. It's okay. Yes. And it's,
you're welcome.
And you're going to be fine. Yeah.
And you're welcome.
Like, I was a latchkey kid. No one was there. I turned out all right. Yeah. Kind of.
We're fine.
Yes, we're fine. That's fine. That's my podcast. We're fine.
We're fine. And we're going to say it until we believe it.
And it's going to be us just right above with the nostrils and water.
just right here.
We're doing
doing interviews now. I cannot thank you enough for joining us today.
Yeah. Oh my God, did I talk so much and waste your time? I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it's not a waste of time. I was told you have a heart out, so we're going to make sure we get you out of here.
Because I have to sing. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to go sing with me?
You have a job to do. Absolutely
I've heard. I'm going to hear your song on the way there.
Don't do that.
I am.
Oh my God, don't do that. Please don't.
If you don't watch From Justin to Kelly, I won't listen to your song.
Deal.
Did I just
I'm not going to lie. I've seen some of it.
Okay. Did I lie just now? Because I'm totally going to go listen.
No.
Yes.
I've seen. I mean, I've seen it.
Fine. Then I get to listen. That's a fair trade.
God, that's hard. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for you.
No.
I will. No. Okay.
I don't accept it. No.
Sweating again. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming.
And
it was so much fun.
Congrats on your other little one.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah. And it was so much fun to talk to you.
Yeah, you too.
I have to say it just for good measure. Go Birds.
Go boys! How about them boys?
Thank you so much again to Kelly Clarkson for joining me while I was in New York. Watch her on The Kelly Clarkson Show. Make sure to check out her new Las Vegas residency starting July 4th. She's also got shows coming up in Atlantic City on May 9th and May 10th. Tickets are on sale now. You can find even more clips from our conversation on my YouTube channel on More Shit Monday. And that's a wrap on another episode of Not Gonna Lie. I'll probably be back next week with a brand new episode. We'll see what the baby has to say about that. Follow the show on all social media at NGL with Kylie, and Queen Nicole will let you know if there's any changes to our schedule. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Not Gonna Lie is a Wave original brought to you by Liquid Death. Thank you guys for tuning in.